Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Let Me Tell You a podcast with Jeremy Jacobowitz. I am your host, Jeremy Jacobowitz, and this week we're doing a good old-fashioned Q&A episode. I had you guys send me questions on a wide range of topics. We're going to get into that, but of course, restaurant news, what you missed, what I'm into, all the fun stuff. But of course, before we begin, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for subscribing. If you haven't done one of those, I mean, you're listening, you're watching, so I guess you're doing that. But if you haven't subscribed yet, do that. No matter where you're watching and listening to this, we have the brand new YouTube channel for this. Let me tell you why on YouTube, but Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon. I don't even know this goes everywhere. So wherever you guys are doing that, really appreciate it. Leave a comment, leave a 5-star review, leave a review, whatever it is. Every little thing helps. That one little button, that one little click is tremendously important. So thank you for that. And to show my appreciation, merch is only on sale just for you guys. So with the exclusive code March12, you get 12% off everything on jeremyjshop.com, including if you're watching, it makes more sense of what's happening. But I'm wearing my Never Toast a Fresh Bagel t-shirt. That's on the site. We got hats, sweatshirts, crews, Let Me Tell You merch, egg salad sounds merch, always the most popular. All that, jeremyjshop.com. But let's get to the news. So, ramen chef Hiroshi Hiraoka from Sapporo's Japanese Ramen Noodle Lab Q will be in New York City for two special pop-ups the weekends of March 21 to 22 and March 28 to 29 at Toa. And then he's doing another pop-up March 30th through April 3rd at No, bringing his award-winning signature clear Tanrei-style ramen. I did not have this when I was in Sapporo, but my Sapporo, well, I was going to get to this anyway, but my Sapporo guides are all totally live. So if you want to check out morsels.food, that is my Substack. There is a written guide there. If you want to go to YouTube, the Jeremy Jacobowitz YouTube, the main channel YouTube, there is a guide there. Everything I ate in Sapporo. I made a little like prologue video too of my first night in Tokyo, sort of like a little teaser of what's to come with all my Japanese content. It was just like a fun little video, like first meal, first just kind of thoughts and feelings about my trip, a little kind of dramatic. I had fun with it. I was able to like kind of go outside the realm of what I usually make because I felt like, okay, this is just like an intro. How do I tease it in like a really fun way of the upcoming episodes? So really check that out. The people, if you subscribe on YouTube, they seem to really like that one. So I appreciate that. But yeah, check all those videos out. YouTube, links everywhere. You know the deal. Sandwell is a healthy-ish sandwich shop on the Upper West Side and Gramercy, and they are launching tuna melts. You got my attention. Everything including this tuna is made in-house, and this tuna salad mixes skipjack tuna, celery hearts, caramelized onions, pickles, capers, parsley, dill, celery seeds, caraway seeds, tamari, lemon juice, olive oil, and a vegan mayo, and that goes on a toasted bread with slices of cheddar. If you're going to make a tuna melt, you're going to get me excited. Lobel's Original, the sandwich shop in Rockefeller Center from Lobel's Prime Meats, has new collab sandwiches that will be served over the next month. Now, through March 27th, they are serving a collab sandwich from Chef JJ in Field Trip. His sandwich is the Jews Got the Beef, not Jews. I always say it like that, and everyone's like, Jews? Jews? No, Jews. J-U-S. Au jus. Which is a prime beef sandwich with pickled vegetables and a Vidalia onion jam. And of course, the Jew. The Jew meaning me and the Jew meaning the sauce. And from March 30th to April 13th, you can get a collab sandwich from Greg Backstrom and 5 Acres, the Chicago Italian combo, which is prime beef, roasted peppers, and giardiniera peppers. Both of these sandwiches look good. 77 Alley is a new restaurant in Tribeca from Chef London Chase that will have a rotating menu with a focus on drawing inspiration from Tribeca's gallery culture with, quote, art on the walls and on the plates. The menu will be broken down into heat, acid, salty, depth, and fat with dishes like chopped cheese, grilled lamb ribs, and a pork belly yakitori. Okay, let's get into what you may have missed. I think the biggest thing of the week was if you missed the what is your bagel order this week, Jack Schlossberg, you probably want to check that out. The full interview is on YouTube and a transcript of interviews also on Substack, but the videos went crazy viral on Instagram and TikTok. If you didn't miss that, Jack Schlossberg, the Kennedy heir, is running in Manhattan's 12th for Congress. He had a lot of things to say, not only on bagels, but particularly what hit a mark of most people was his thoughts on his second cousin or cousin. I can't quite make, I forget whatever. A cousin once removed, it doesn't matter. His family member, RFK Jr. People were very into that. People were very into Jack. So a very wide-ranging interview there. Everyone check that out. And this weekend, dropping tomorrow, I have Senator Alex Padilla. So 2 back-to-back sort of more political episodes. It's not always the point of the show. Just happen to be 2 political people, and I thought, why not? Sounds fun. Feeling back in Korea, I made a video at Ari Ari in East Village. Their whole thing is like from Busan to New York, and I love my trip to Busan so much. And walking in there, I felt like I was back in Korea. A great meal. Again, you can find that on Instagram, and I don't think I posted on TikTok yet. It's on Instagram for sure. And also an article went out on Substack. My goal, my Substack, morsels.food, is to have an article paired with every restaurant video. One, I think it's just like if people want to read it, I want to give people options. 2, I think it's a really good way to sort of archive things better. I think videos just kind of get lost on Instagram. And Substack, at least I could have things broken down by like if you want to call them reviews, not really, I wouldn't call them reviews, but like restaurant highlights and interviews and guides, like an easier way to find everything. I think it's going to be really helpful for everyone. So that's why that's there. What a great meal. Oh, and I rolled out all my Chicago content. So I know I keep talking about Substack, but it's just like that's one, I'm just excited about it. But 2, I just think it's really valuable for you guys. So I was in Chicago in December. I did a little roundup of all the best breakfasts in Chicago. So I think Chicago is the best breakfast city in the world. And there is a long form on YouTube. There is a shorter form on TikTok, Instagram. There's a guide in Substack highlighting all the best breakfasts I've had in Chicago. Plus, I did do dinner there too. And that was, what is it? Momotaro, Izakaya. Oh, the Japanese burger. All of that everywhere. Oh, one last video. I did. I think I talked about this on a podcast, but not on a feed, which is why it's there. But my hyperfixation meal, my really weird one, and how I'm dying to order in Starbucks. Actually, since putting that video out, I think I've weaned myself off of it a little bit because like it's just this, like it's too much money to spend on egg white bites and coffee when you get it delivered. But I did wake up this morning feeling like I want it, and I kind of like get into why I have hyperfixation meals and why it is this particular Starbucks thing. So check that out. That video is Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere you want to find it. Is that. Okay, so the main topic this week is a Q&A. I went to my Instagram. If for some reason you watch or listen to this and don't follow me on Instagram, you probably should there. Put up a story. I said, hey guys, I've been slacking on answering questions and stories because what I found happens is I put up the question box and I get too goddamn distracted. And then I totally forget to do it. So I was like, ask your questions here. We're going to answer them on the pod. And yeah, you guys sent in some really great ones. So let's go through these. Okay, first question. Have you thought of exploring Mexico City? Yes, I'm dying to get to Mexico City. I do think that is like the next city that like I really want to get to on my list of places to go. The food of every level, it looks incredible. Every food person that I trust has been there, loves it. It's just one of those things that I just haven't had it happen yet. Especially if international, it's harder for me to plan those because I just never know what's happening in my life. It's not that far of a trip. It still is a bigger deal. And sometimes it takes kind of like something happening, a real reason to go there before putting on the schedule. But yes, I'm dying to go to Mexico City. I'm dying. So hopefully that's next. Question. I'm seeing more and more food events saying industry only, no room for small chefs. Why? I don't really understand what these events are. I don't think they say no small chefs only. My interpretation of this is like if you're asking about an influencer event and why chefs aren't going to get there, aren't invited or whatever, like, I mean, if it is an influencer event, why that event would have chefs that aren't influencers doesn't quite make sense. So maybe that's what they're saying. And, as much as these things, I'm sure you want to go there for networking reasons or whatever, but like for the restaurant's perspective, it's not, or whoever's throwing the event, it's not necessarily a networking event, it's an event to promote something. So I think anytime there is a level of, we are looking, they generally don't make this public, but when if you're going to do some sort of influencer event, you're doing it to get your messaging out there. So generally you are looking for people that you're looking at numbers, either how big someone is or really, really, really micro targeting of like what this is. And like, is that person perfect for this? And you want to have a general mix of them. But if you're kind of just a chef, a small chef, I don't know why you would be invited, but maybe I'm misinterpreting the question. Sorry about that. Tampa, Florida picks. Yes, you know what? It's funny you just said that. I put up a video a few years ago on YouTube. Well, these videos went everywhere, but YouTube works this way. of my favorite Cuban sandwiches in Tampa. And for whatever reason, years later, that video has just popped off like a week ago. That's a good thing to put on Substack too. But if you want to check that out, YouTube's easy to search. Type in Tampa Jeremy Jacobowitz on YouTube and you'll find that video. But yeah, that is where the Cuban sandwich was invented. People in Miami want to fight you. People in Cuba might want to fight you. But it is the combination of the Cuban immigrants coming together with the Italian immigrants in Tampa. And that is where the Cuban sandwich as we know it was invented. It is just historical fact. You guys may not like that. I see that when I say that in videos, people certainly don't like that, but it is just the truth. Restaurants in LA that would impress your in-laws. You know, it's really funny when I get questions like, where should I bring my wife for our anniversary? Where should I impress my in-laws? That's such like a personal question. I don't know. What if I was like, oh, this pizza place is amazing, but like your in-laws are gluten-free and vegan? That's not helpful. So I actually have no fucking clue how a restaurant that would actually impress your in-laws. But I will say some of my favorite restaurants in LA. I mean, if you're like, give me anything, Bavel. Bavel is my favorite restaurant in LA. Bring them to Bavel. My mom would probably like that, but she couldn't eat a lot of it there. My dad wouldn't care. But Bavel, just bring him there. Best day of eating in LA, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh, 2 back-to-back LA questions. Somewhat similar location. Oh, yes. Yes. Because in LA, you don't really want to go all over the place necessarily. Even when I'm out there, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going all over the place. Well, I'm going to start breakfast at Erewhon because I can't be in LA and not get a breakfast burrito at Erewhon. Give me the steak. Give me the veggie. Give me either one. It doesn't matter. And since I just said Bavel, we'll pick something not Bavel. God, I miss horses. I'm so sad horses is closed. But we'll go River, RVR, and Venice. So I guess we're sticking West Side for this. Where would lunch be? Do I want another breakfast? No, where would lunch be? What are my favorite lunch things there? I feel like what ends up happening there is like lunch, I usually just kind of get breakfast again because I want more breakfast stuff. Ooh, Atari. Maybe that. I did Atari. It's like, oh fuck, what kind of sandwich shop? What's the nationality? Fuck, I forget. That was a sandwich shop that was really good. No, is there something else? Where would I go for lunch? I don't know. This is my problem. I gotta look back on my list. What would I really want to do? Go to Sobane and get another breakfast. I would eat 2 breakfast burritos in one day, stay on the West Side, and I would have a great fucking day. Yeah. Giada, maybe go Giada for a sandwich if you're like sticking in Venice, I guess. Or honestly, where's the best day of eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in LA? Erewhon for breakfast, Erewhon for lunch, Erewhon for dinner. Dinner hates somewhere else. How do small brands with no budgets get influencers to visit their shops? I mean, we talked about this in the last episode about paying influencers, not paying influencers. You shouldn't pay influencers. What you should do is target people that you think would actually really want to come. So if you are, I'm looking at this. I said I would keep it all anonymous. I don't want to say what account this is, but it looks like it's a burger restaurant specifically asking us. So yeah, sure. DM the bigger accounts. Be like, hey, we'd love for you to try our burger or whatever. But then target smaller accounts. Find a smaller account that's just focuses on burgers. You know, there's so many of them. And again, like that audience is only expecting burgers. So you could get good retention. Because remember the difference of like, you know, we think of like macro and micro influencers and everything, but like, or think of an account. I have almost like 600,000 followers on Instagram, 1 million all over the place, right? And I make videos. If I make a video, you're probably seeing a couple 100,000 views across everything, right? But let's take a smaller account. Let's take an account with 10,000 followers, which would be micro, right? But if that account is only burgers, and let's say every one of their videos gets seen by 8,000 people or whatever, I'm just picking a fucking number, right? That's still 8,000 people potentially that could come on to eat your goddamn cheeseburger, which is absolutely insane. So target everyone. Don't just give out free food to everyone. Don't just offer it to everyone. Actually put in the work to be like, is this person worth it? Look at engagement. Look at comments. See what they are like. Find the niche account that's really going to be excited to come to you. Because like, do you really want someone to come to your shop or whatever that's like not excited to be there anyway? I mean, that's a lot of it too. Is like, I get invites so many times, and like one, I just physically I have to say no, or I have to say more specifically, I'll get back to you because I just don't have the time in a day to get to all these places. But also, like, I want to wait till I'm excited to go there. And there's nothing. It's not that your food is bad. It's not that anything. It's not anything say about your restaurant specifically. It's just like literally just like, oh, maybe I ate a cheeseburger yesterday. I'm like, you know, and I don't really want a cheeseburger for a week, so like I'm not going to go there. So I think being more niche about it is really 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 helpful. Um, how did you discover your own spectrum? Like what would I ask for? I did a whole podcast about this, and because I was more fresh in my brain then, I would very much recommend you going back and finding that episode. It's not very long ago; it's from less than a year ago. But I would say like this was brought up in therapy, and that was sort of like where the journey started. Of like, hey, like I think this might be something you have, um, and maybe you should look into that. And that leads to wait, I got another longer question yesterday about this. Um, so jumping off of that says, as someone with similar circumstances, ADHD diagnosed a long time ago, strong suspicion of degree of autism. I'm wrestling with whether it's worth the time and money for diagnosis that I and others around me are subject in case I really. So basically, to sum up this question, it's like, is it worth it to kind of get tested? And again, I would say go back and listen to the podcast, but to try and summarize it as best I can. Um, I think that it's something like, again, like doesn't change who you are because there's no medicine, there's no things you could do when you're diagnosed with autism. It's just like, here's a diagnosis, do what you want with it. And for me personally, it was much more about other people understanding me more than me understanding myself. Because whether someone told me I had it or didn't have it, who I am is kind of who I am. But I think other people now realizing that might see things differently, just a better way to connect. So, like, is it always worth the money and the time? I don't know. Like, that's a very personal question. Maybe it doesn't matter to you. Maybe it does. I think like that's it. But certainly, like, think about it. Talk to people. You could do like they're not just going to charge you. Like, they'll do an initial thing. See if your insurance covers it. Like, do your research before diving in, I guess. Are you planning to do some recon work in South Florida? We need you here. A residence? Not a residence. I can only be down there for a few days. It is too hot for me in Florida, but I was just in Florida as we talked about. I've not edited those videos yet. So an updated Miami travel guide will be coming soon with a few more additions on there, and I might be back in a little bit, but no residence. No, I'm not that type of New Yorker. I need to be here. I can't deal with the goddamn heat. This question, when you're coming to Philly, the city has added so many great new spots. I will be in Philly next week. Actually, I have a bunch stuff already ready to go. I'm super excited. Philly is one of my favorite food cities in the whole world. Every time I go there, I'm more and more and more impressed. And right, great new spots already. It's been a year and a half. So stay tuned. That content probably a few weeks out, but I will certainly be there eating. First time in Tokyo, where are you headed to eat as soon as you get off the plane? You must be new here because it is 7-Eleven. It's for an exile at Sanzo. So would you ever consider running for local elected office? Yes. I've always sort of said like I just kind of want to be mayor of New York and that's it. Not a lot super excites me, but I will say off the record, even though I'm saying this on a fucking podcast, it's just something to say, which is not the truth at all, by the way. Off the record, on the record actually means something which we forget. I have had conversations with political insiders to see if there's something that makes sense for me. And there were things that we talked about that when I said it out loud, I thought, that does seem kind of cool. So there's no plans at the moment, but it's certainly a thought and certainly something that is exciting to me. And I'll just say, stay tuned and we'll see what happens. What is your go-to to make if you're having brunch at home? So I make the same things every single day or some variation of the same thing every day. Currently, my breakfast, because I don't really make brunch, but my breakfast every single day is I crack 2 eggs into the pan and then add more egg whites. So it's like 2 eggs plus maybe 4 to 5 worth of egg whites in there. Give them a little flip, over easy. As soon as I flip them, I add 2 flour tortillas on top, cover them. That steams the tortilla, gets it nice and soft, finishes cooking the eggs. Take those off. My goal is always to have them like a touch jammy. I'm not the best chef in the whole world, so sometimes they're a little over, sometimes they're a little more runny. My goal is jammy, but either way, I'm pretty happy with it. Take them off. I add a little mayo. I add a little ketchup. If I could, pickle ketchup. Ooh. and I put a little kimchi in there. Super simple, one of my favorites. Do you ever feel like you run out of content ideas? No, I have too many content ideas. I have too many thoughts and ideas, and I get really excited about things. If I don't do it right away, don't get excited about them. But I have literally too many things that I want to do, whether that's food related or not food related. It is this thing of like, feeling creative burnout. I've talked about this before. I don't have creative burnout. What I love about my job is being a creator. I think what happens to a lot of people is they don't love being a creator. They like either the idea of being a creator, that is for sure part of it, or they like one particular subject a lot, but they don't like making videos. Well, I use this example all the time. It's like, you could love sewing. It doesn't mean you should be a sewing creator, because guess what? Now your passion has to be making videos. And if you turn your passion into work that you don't want to do, you're going to kill your passion. Don't do that. Just enjoy things. I think about this all the time. People make videos at eating restaurants. Do you know how much I love making videos. I always want to make a video, but like, it is somewhat embarrassing to have to try and make a video in restaurants sometimes. It just fucking is. Sometimes I do wish like I could have seen. And of course I could have seen, but like, it's just my job. I need the video, right? If this isn't your job, I beg you, just enjoy the restaurant. Just enjoy it. You don't have to make a video. You don't have to do that. I have to do it because it's my job. Just enjoy it. Take a quick pic, put up a story. Don't make your life harder, because you're not going to enjoy it, because you probably don't like making videos. So no, never run out of content ideas. The Detroit food scene is vastly underrated. Miami is vastly overrated. Thanks for listening. I do think the Detroit food scene is underrated. I actually disagree. I think Miami's still underrated also. I think that the Miami food scene has gotten so much better over the past 10 years. And I think unless you're kind of going there at least once a year, you don't appreciate that. I think that if you have this old school idea of what Miami was, like, it is significantly better in every single way. And I still don't think people appreciate that enough. So I actually think both are underrated, surprisingly enough. How did you get the interview of Jack? Okay, so I talked about this earlier, my interview with Jack Schlossberg. I got in touch with his campaign team. The only way everyone does it. Like, you'll be surprised, especially if you're on a campaign, like, people really want to get their message out there. And I have a little bit of a platform, and it was pretty seamless. Hey, would love to have Jack on. Jack's super excited. When can we do this? You let me know what his schedule is. Great. Done. Excited for WrestleMania. I am excited for WrestleMania. Am I going to go to WrestleMania? I don't know yet. I'm putting out feelers, but I'm psyched for the main event. I'm psyched for a lot of the matches. I think the builds haven't been like the best this year. I feel like in terms of like the builds and storylines going into it, it's more of a B. But I think the matches and the weekend of WrestleMania has a potential to be the best ever. So I am absolutely psyched for WrestleMania. And last one here, no question, you're just my IG crush. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into what I'm into. Two things. One, I found a new podcast I really, really like. It's called Right Answers Mostly. I discovered it. So as I was like diving deep into Kennedy worlds, which I still am, I'm reading a book right now that I'll talk about when I finish, but it's very long. TikTok just became all Kennedy, everything. And I found this podcast because they were doing a month long, every episode is about the Kennedys. And I kind of like, this is like, I feel like, do you guys go through this too? It's like, you find a podcast, or you find something on like TikTok, right? And you like watch it once, you're like, okay. And you don't really process who it is. You don't follow them. It's a good video. And then the algorithm's like, oh, I like that. Show it to you again and again and again. And you're like, oh, I think I like this. Okay. So you click follow there. And then for me, TikTok, I like following people on Instagram just because I scroll on Instagram more. So then I watched a few more of the videos and I was like, oh, I think I kind of like them. All right. Let me follow them on Instagram, like get a better sense of who they are. Follow them on Instagram. So now I'm seeing even more of it. Seeing stories. I'm seeing whatever. And like at that point, I just saw clips and there's podcasts. And then I was like, all right, well, I think I want to watch the whole podcast now. So then I followed them on YouTube and started watching all the old episodes. So basically it's two girls in LA. Their approach to it is like gossiping about history. So it's like a very like non-serious approach to telling stories about history, which I think is like the best for me. I mean, one, I love history, but two, like I understand like it could be a little dry sometimes. And their approach to it is really fun, really informative, just sort of silly, not so serious, even when they're dealing with more serious issues. And like, I really appreciate how like they'll do some episodes that are sort of like more bigger things that we all kind of have an understanding on. But as I've been going through their back catalog, they do find really niche stuff. And I'm like, I knew nothing about this. I knew like nothing about this, which I thought, like, for me who loves history, is really, really cool. Episodes aren't that long. It's once a week. And just like, I love watching them. They're just like, it's just like a fun way to actually learn something, and a good gimmick, like gossiping history. I'm like, you girls fucking did it. And they've been grinding at it. So I really love the podcast. I might, one of the girls, I like watching her. And then Scrubs is back. So when they announced Scrubs was going to come back, I was like, you know what? We should just let things die sometimes. We should just let shows end. And Scrubs had one of the most perfect endings ever. And then they brought it back for another season anyway, when they did that sort of ninth weird season, which I still liked. It didn't feel like necessarily ruined the real finale, but they had a little epilogue season that I appreciated. And instead of it coming back, I was like, but it already had its perfect ending, and it already had this other season. Do we really need it? And I watched the first 2 episodes, and I was like, my first thought was like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of nice to see all them. They're all older. It, like, didn't click. But then now I've watched episodes 3 and 4, and I do feel like they found their stride a little bit, and like it's back to being Scrubs. And you know what? I didn't even realize how much I missed them. And as much as it hurts me, because I do think we should like create new stuff, it's nice. There was always a really nice warm comfort about Scrubs, because they had such a nice balance of funny, sweet, and tender. And I think they've already been hitting that. And enough of the old cast is back. They added some new characters. I don't necessarily know how I feel about the new people yet, but none of them are like offensive in any way. So overall, like, really enjoying it. It's like a nice warm blanket around you once a week now. And I like that Hulu's doing this once a week shit. I don't want binge. I don't want people to binge. I want to watch episodes with the culture and wait and anticipate and let it and think about these things till I get to the next one. So yeah, Scrubs is back. You should go watch it. And you should continue watching this and listening to this, and I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for being here. There will be another episode in 2 weeks. I'll see you guys. Bye.